If someone told you that humans are not the result of natural selection and survival of the fittest, but instead a batch of biological mining robots mass-produced on an assembly line and implanted with programs for obeying orders and mining gold, you would most likely dismiss it as absurd street-stall pseudoscience or a wild premise from a sci-fi novel. After all, we've been taught since childhood that humanity is a miracle of nature, the pinnacle of biological evolution, gradually evolving from apes and eventually ruling the earth through intelligence. But the truth, according to this theory, is far darker and more brutal than you imagine. Humans are not a product of natural evolution at all. Instead, 450,000 years ago, a group of extraterrestrial colonizers from deep space genetically engineered us as custom-made mining slaves in order to plunder Earth's gold. These aliens are the Anunnaki, recorded on Sumerian clay tablets. Earth, in this view, was never truly humanity's home, and the gods we speak of were never saviors who came to rescue us, but colonial rulers who enslaved humanity for hundreds of thousands of years. Gold, meanwhile, was not just an ordinary precious metal. It was a life-saving substance capable of preserving the Anunnaki's home planet. This is the Anunnaki human miner theory proposed by American scholar Zecharia Sitchin. Based on his interpretations of Sumerian cuneiform tablets, Sitchin claimed to reconstruct an interstellar story spanning 450,000 years. Around 450,000 years ago, when Earth was still covered by primeval forests and wilderness, humanity remained in the ignorant era of early Homo erectus. At that time, a massive interstellar spacecraft carrying thousands of Anunnaki colonists crossed the vast cosmos and descended upon Earth. In Sumerian cuneiform tablets, the Anunnaki are described as gods who descended from the heavens, beings with extraordinary powers who could control heaven and earth and create all things. Sitchin, however, argued that the Anunnaki were not gods at all, but an alien civilization possessing highly advanced technology. They did not come to Earth to enlighten humanity, to spread civilization, or to coexist peacefully with the planet. They came for one purpose only: to extract the enormous quantities of gold buried within the Earth. Because the Anunnaki came from a mysterious planet called Nibiru at the outer edge of the solar system. This planet has an orbital period of 3,600 years, meaning it approaches Earth only once every 3,600 years. The rest of the time, it remains hidden in the dark reaches of the solar system, which is why, according to this narrative, it has been deliberately concealed or avoided by mainstream science. At that time, Nibiru was facing an existential catastrophe. Its atmosphere had been completely damaged, allowing cosmic radiation to relentlessly bombard the planet's surface. As a result, nothing could grow, and the planet had become completely uninhabitable. The Anunnaki exhausted every technological solution available to them and eventually discovered that only one method could save their world: suspending powdered gold in the atmosphere to form an indestructible protective shield. This shield could repair the damaged atmosphere and preserve their home planet. They therefore began searching the universe for planets rich in gold reserves, and Earth was selected as the ideal mining site. Earth's gold deposits far exceeded their expectations, especially in southeastern Africa and the Mesopotamian region, where gold veins were widespread, effectively forming a natural treasury of gold. After descending upon Earth, the Anunnaki immediately launched large-scale gold exploration and mining operations. With technology far more advanced than anything on Earth, they easily penetrated underground veins and established one mining base after another. They extracted Earth's gold on a massive scale, processed it into powder, and transported it back to Nibiru in batches to repair their atmosphere. However, the Anunnaki soon realized that mining on Earth was far more difficult than they had anticipated. Deep within the mines were extreme heat, crushing pressure, and countless unknown dangers. Prolonged, high-intensity labor pushed their lower-class workers beyond their limits, and a rebellion capable of overturning their colonial rule began quietly taking shape. At the beginning, the group responsible for mining on Earth was the Igigi, a lower caste within the Anunnaki race. They were essentially the labor tools of the Anunnaki, lacking high intelligence but possessing immense physical strength. As a result, they were forcibly sent by the Anunnaki rulers into the mines, where they extracted gold day after day, year after year. Imagine the scene. Deep underground, in pitch black, damp and scorching mining tunnels, the Igigi received no rest and no compensation. Their days consisted solely of endless digging and hauling gold. Any moment of hesitation or slack would be met with brutal punishment from the Anunnaki rulers. This torment continued for tens of thousands of years. Eventually, the Igigi reached their breaking point. They launched a massive uprising, burning mining equipment and attacking the Anunnaki rulers, refusing to carry out any further mining work. This rebellion brought the Anunnaki's gold extraction operations to a complete standstill and plunged their colonial rule into a severe crisis. As a result, the Anunnaki rulers panicked. If they continued suppressing the Igigi, it could trigger an even larger rebellion and potentially threaten the very foundation of their colonial rule on Earth. But if they reassigned laborers from Nibiru, the cost would be enormous, and Nibiru itself desperately needed a massive workforce to repair its atmosphere. There simply weren't enough hands to spare. At this critical moment, the Anunnaki's chief scientist, Enki, proposed a plan so bold it bordered on madness: to create an entirely new life form, a custom-built miner that would be obedient, capable of hard labor, able to reproduce on its own, and limited in lifespan. This new being would exist solely to mine gold for them, completely solving the labor shortage once and for all. The proposal was unanimously approved by the Anunnaki rulers, and the life form they created was none other than us, human beings. Enki's human creation project then began. He extracted Anunnaki genetic material and fused it with the genes of Homo erectus, which already existed on Earth at the time. Through genetic engineering, he sought to create the perfect miner. Their objectives were clear. First, humans would inherit part of the Anunnaki's intelligence, allowing them to understand commands and use mining tools. Second, humans would inherit the physical strength of Homo erectus, enabling them to adapt to Earth's environment and endure intense labor deep within the mines. Third, humans would be implanted with a gene of obedience, ensuring they would be naturally compliant and never rebel like the Igigi. Fourth, humans would be designed with a limited lifespan and the ability to reproduce independently, eliminating the need for the Anunnaki to invest resources in maintaining them. When one generation of miners died, the next would naturally take over, creating an endless supply of labor. After countless experiments, Enki finally succeeded. He created the first finished human, named Adamu, the prototype of Adam in the Bible. Soon after, Enki created the first human female, Eve, granting humanity the ability to reproduce and gradually form human populations. Here's a chilling detail upon closer inspection. When editing human DNA, the Anunnaki deliberately sealed off parts of human potential. Humans were prevented from developing the same advanced technological capabilities as the Anunnaki and from discovering their true identity as miners. The goal was to ensure that humans would remain obedient slaves forever, endlessly mining gold for their creators. And the theory of evolution we are taught from childhood is nothing more than Anunnaki propaganda, a brainwashing narrative left behind for humanity. It is a tool allegedly reinforced by a manipulated mainstream scientific community to conceal the truth that humans were created. Think about it. If humans truly evolved naturally, why does our evolution appear so abrupt? Why did Sumerian civilization suddenly rise without any transitional phase? And why are humans instinctively obsessed with gold, drawn to it with a desire that feels etched into our very bones? There is only one answer. We did not evolve. We were custom designed by the Anunnaki as biological tools for mining gold. Our obsession with gold is not something acquired later. It is an instinct written into our genes by the Anunnaki. Because our mission is simple: mine gold to extend their lives. In the Bible, Adam and Eve are described as being placed in the Garden of Eden, living carefree and worry-free lives. Eden is portrayed as a paradise on earth, a garden bestowed upon humanity by God. But few people realize that the truth about Eden is far darker than we imagine. It was never a paradise at all. It was an Anunnaki facility that functioned as both a biological laboratory and a mining training camp. After creating humanity, the Anunnaki did not immediately send humans into the mines. Instead, they placed them in a sealed area, the Garden of Eden. It had abundant food and water, a beautiful environment, and appeared to be a paradise. In reality, it was a carefully monitored enclosure, a gilded cage. There, the Anunnaki observed human behavior, labor capacity, and reproduction. At the same time, they taught humans basic tool usage, as well as language and writing. This was not done to enlighten humanity, but to make humans better suited for mining work. They needed humans to learn how to dig and transport gold, how to cooperate with Anunnaki management, and how to become qualified miners. Within Eden, humans were placed under strict control. They were not allowed to leave the enclosed area, not allowed to question Anunnaki commands, and certainly not allowed to develop independent thoughts. Like caretakers tending livestock, the Anunnaki fed and trained humans, waiting for them to meet mining standards. Once ready, they were dispatched to mining bases across Earth to begin endless labor. The Anunnaki believed that the obedience genes they had engineered would ensure humans remained compliant forever, eternal mining slaves. What they did not anticipate was that during reproduction, subtle genetic variations would occur. Gradually, some humans began to awaken a sense of self-awareness. They started questioning their existence. Why must we work endlessly? Why are we not allowed to leave this place? Why do those gods stand above us while we are controlled at their will? The biblical story of humans eating the forbidden fruit of knowledge is, in fact, a metaphor for this awakening of human consciousness. The so-called fruit of knowledge was never a literal fruit, but a symbol of self-awareness. Once humans gained self-awareness, they were no longer obedient tools but became defective products in the eyes of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki soon realized that these awakened humans were beginning to resist orders and even attempting to escape Eden and rebel against their rule. This terrified them. If all humans awakened and refused to mine gold, their entire extraction plan would collapse and their home planet would be doomed. As a result, the Anunnaki made a brutal decision. They expelled these awakened humans from the Garden of Eden and scattered them across mining sites around the world. There, humans would be forced to mine under even harsher conditions. At the same time, the Anunnaki used religion, mythology, and similar systems to exert psychological control, pushing humanity back into the role of obedient slaves. After being expelled from the Garden of Eden, humanity began endless mining labor at extraction sites scattered across the earth. In order to completely control humans and prevent them from awakening again and launching rebellions, the Anunnaki began fabricating myths and establishing religions to carry out large-scale psychological indoctrination. They portrayed themselves as gods who created humanity and saved humanity, interpreting human existence as a gift from the gods. Human mining labor was reframed as the will of the gods, while any human resistance was labeled as betrayal of the gods, deserving of severe punishment. Sumerian mythology, biblical mythology, ancient Egyptian mythology, Indian mythology, and even Chinese mythology are, at their core, all Anunnaki brainwashing narratives. Every one of these myth systems delivers the same central message. The gods created humanity, and humans must serve and obey the gods, or face divine punishment. For example, in Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki are described as gods who descended from the heavens, rulers of all things between heaven and earth. Humans were required to offer them gold and precious stones in exchange for divine protection. What is even more terrifying is that this form of psychological control has continued to the present day. The religions we believe in now and the gods we worship are essentially incarnations of the Anunnaki. Our obsession with gold and our pursuit of power are slave instincts engraved into our genes by the Anunnaki. We appear to be free, but in reality, we are still bound by the colonial shackles imposed 450,000 years ago. After 450,000 years of relentless plundering, Earth's gold reserves were finally sufficient for the Anunnaki to repair the atmosphere of their home planet. Around 311 BCE, Nibiru once again approached Earth, and the Anunnaki colonizers began returning to Nibiru in batches, bringing an end to their 450,000-year colonial rule over Earth. However, they did not completely abandon Earth, nor did they liberate humanity. They left behind a portion of the Anunnaki to continue monitoring human development and controlling Earth's gold extraction. They also left behind religion, mythology, and genetic restraints to continue enslaving humanity, ensuring that humans would forever work for them. They even left remnants of advanced technology as symbols of their divinity, continuing to intimidate humanity and suppress resistance. After the Anunnaki withdrew from Earth, humanity may have escaped their direct rule, but not their genetic control. Embedded within our genes are still the instincts of obedience and mining, instincts that continue to shape our behavior and perception to this day. Even more frightening is that the genetic shackles left behind by the Anunnaki have been subtly directing the course of human development all along. Our civilizational progress has never been about breaking free from enslavement. It has been about mining more efficiently, from manual mining in ancient times to mechanized mining in the modern era. From extracting gold to extracting oil, coal, and countless other resources, humanity has always been repeating the same role, that of the miner, forever working for the Anunnaki.